Hello everyone, my name is Mirela'a and I'm going to tell you the story of how I was married at the age of 13. Our family lived like other families in a gypsy camp and were not much different than the others. Women did all the work in the home. They always woke up early in the morning, lit the fires, and cooked food for their large families. There were 7 children in our family. I was the 5th in birth order. My older sisters gave me lots of help. Often I went to the city with my married sisters. We walked around the station square and offered to tell fortunes. I cannot say that we really knew and foresaw the future. The most important thing was for us to make money in order not to go home empty-handed. We came home, brought in what we managed to earn, bought bread, and if we were especially lucky, we could afford to buy something tasty. In the gypsy camp, children grow up early. Girls know that they can be married at the age of 13 or 14. After marriage, they no longer go to school but are engaged with family and children. But before we are married, we must learn to read and write. I went to school at the age of 10 in a special gypsy class. The teacher was beautiful and intelligent. She told us interesting stories about the lives of famous people. I listened and I wanted to be like her, so confident and well-educated. In the classroom, we had a computer. The teacher showed us the cities and countries that she had already visited. I tried to study hard and soon became the best student in the class. My dream was to be able to continue my studies. One day, my father started talking about my marriage. He said that I was grown up enough and it was time to find a husband for me. I immediately guessed who my fiancé would be. Recently, Yanko began to come to visit us with his father. He pretended that he was solving important issues with men, but while they talked, he never took his dark eyes off of me. A few days later, our engagement was announced. When the guests entered the house, my father began to praise me, saying, "Our Mirela'a is beautiful, a virgin, very clever. There is no better bride in the whole camp." Each guest showed agreement by placing gold coin into a glass, and when there were 12 of them, the matchmaker shook hands and set the wedding day. That night, I didn't fall asleep. All my hopes and dreams were suddenly gone. It is impossible for a gypsy girl to resist the will of her father. I could only accept what he had planned for me. From that day forward, I didn't go to school anymore. Whenever I went out into the streets, I was always accompanied by my older sisters, brothers, or parents. So that I would look beautiful on such a significant day, we went to choose a dress for me to wear at the wedding. And of course I wanted the expensive one. My aunts bargained loudly and the seller dropped the price almost in half. Then we picked out jewelry. I was so fascinated by the clothes that I had a wonderful time choosing. In the evening, my girlfriends came to visit. They were so jealous because Yanko was the most handsome young man in the camp. At that time, I thought too that I liked him very much and began to look forward to the upcoming mysterious day. The celebration began at noon. Elegant and beautiful gypsies were waiting for me to appear. Yanko was there also. I could tell he was as worried about the marriage as I was, and when he saw me in a veil and white dress, he stopped dead in his tracks. Then he handed me a bouquet of flowers. After that, it was as if everyone forgot about the two of us. The wedding guests sang, danced, and clinked their glasses. Between the dances, the women served at the tables already full of food. The guests congratulated us, wished us happiness, and donated money to help us settle into our family nest. Most of all, I was afraid to become a woman. There were many rumors about the wedding night among the girls, and at midnight, Yanko and I were taken to a bedroom. 2 elderly women came to join us and were to become witnesses in order to inform the guests whether I was truly a virgin or not. My face was red as a beet, and actually it all happened so fast I was almost oblivious to the whole thing. Then I pulled on a red dress, straightened my hair, and went out to the guests. The women were spreading the stained sheets on a tray, sharing with the guests stories about what had happened. Yanko, in a red shirt, carried a red handkerchief and handed it to my father. This meant that his young wife was a virgin. Thus began my married life, which didn't bring me joy. My Yanko was now well suited to married life. He didn't know how to and didn't want to work. He preferred to spend time idly, and this left me to have to do everything myself. Each evening, I felt tired and nearly overwhelmed. My husband was not happy and he often began to express his discontent. The fact that I didn't get pregnant in the first 2 years really bugged him. Regarding children, he had huge expectations. He knew that after the second child, he would get special allotment of money from the government, and this would allow him to solve his financial problems. Sometimes in the evening, he was annoyed. He screamed, and once he hit me. I began to think about divorce, although this is unacceptable here. But I didn't want to live like that. I increasingly began to recall my teacher and my childhood dreams that still lived within me. One day in the store, someone called me. I turned around and saw her, the teacher of my dreams. She came up, hugged me, and asked about my life. I burst into tears. She calmed me and then suggested to me the possibility of leaving the camp. She said that she could arrange for me to be admitted to a school where I could live in a dormitory. After graduation, she said I could get a good job. Then she left me her contact information. The decision to run away from the gypsy camp was not an easy one for me to make. I had often asked myself whether I could live that other life. Could I exist like that? Then, after Yanko hit me again, I said to myself, I can't leave the camp. I contacted my teacher and she helped me with an evening school. After that, I began studying in a vocational school. I'm sure I will find a good job and improve my life. Of course, I still look with dismay at my future, but I firmly believe that under no circumstances can I endure humiliation. Everyone must believe in themselves and strive for the best. Would you like to see more episodes? Support us by hitting like and subscribe. If you want to see your story in one of our videos, send it to this email address.